your ABC 40.
Coming up on 40 in the morning, a fire overnight in Hadley breaks out next door to a local fire department. Plus, an arrest in a Springfield murder leads to drug charges for 3 people. And Northampton invests millions in fixing up their roadways.
From WGGB Springfield, the Associated Press station of the year, this is 40 in the Morning Weekend.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Brittany Decker. It's 9 o'clock on this Saturday, April 4th. Thank you so much for joining us here on 40 in the Morning Weekend. We're going to get to all of your top stories in just a moment. But first, we want to turn it over to meteorologist Don Maher, who is standing by and going to tell you what the day looks like today. Don, what's going on?
Hey, Brittany, it was actually a pretty damp start earlier this morning, but right now, live Doppler HD, fairly quiet, except there may be a sprinkle or a flurry in northern parts of Berkshire County this morning. There is a flood watch for Berkshire County. This goes until 8 o'clock this evening. There could be some minor flooding along the Housatonic River in parts of Berkshire County as we go through the day today. But the other big story today is winds. Wind advisory for all of western Massachusetts. This goes from 10 o'clock this morning until 8 o'clock this evening. Could see winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour at times, certainly strong enough to bring down some branches and cause some scattered power outages. And we've seen winds gusting to over 25 miles per hour. In fact, a recent gust to 26 in Westfield, a recent gust to 35 miles per hour at Bradley Airport in Windsor Locks. These winds will continue to gust as we go through the afternoon. Temperatures themselves in the 40s in many locations, though Worthington still at 34, 37 in Pittsfield. We're at 45 currently in Greenfield. The steady precipitation for the most part has moved out, and we've seen some breaks in the clouds along the I-91 corridor. We become partly to mostly sunny as we go through the afternoon, with temperatures topping out right around 50 degrees, though we will be contending with those winds all afternoon. By 8 o'clock, mostly clear skies, temperatures falling back through the 30s. I'll let you know if this sunshine will last through Easter Sunday, and I'll give you all the details on that with the full forecast in just a couple of minutes. Brittany?
Don, thank you. New this morning, a fire destroys a garage and causes damage to a home in Hadley. That fire broke out just before 2 o'clock this morning at a vacant home on East Street. The home is just feet away from the public safety building that houses the police and fire departments. A police officer is the one who first noticed the fire. Then firefighters say that the fire began in the garage before spreading to the porch. The home suffered some smoke damage, but the garage and porch are a total loss. No one was injured in the fire, and the cause is still under investigation. And a wild scene in Northampton as a truck crashes through the fly-by-night furniture store. This happened just after 8 o'clock last night. There was one employee inside at the time, but no injuries were reported. That truck was traveling along State Street when it collided with another car right before crashing into the window. The store should be back open today, and police are still investigating the crash. Northampton has announced a nearly $2 million project to resurface damaged roads and to repair potholes. ABC 40's Jennifer Martinez has all of the details. Jenny?
Brittany, spring always brings another season with it. Pothole season. Well, now in Northampton, Mayor David Narkowitz announced the city's plan to invest $1.8 million in roadway repairs. This will go towards sealing cracks, milling, and repaving, which people say is much needed, especially after this past winter.
So I was leaving work. It got worse and worse. I kind of saw it, but I never really paid attention to it. Pulled around the corner, hit it, and it was way deeper than it usually was. And I realized my car was driving a little funny, so I had to pull over to the side of the road, and my tire was flat, and I had to replace it.
Funding comes from a combination of the state Chapter 90 funds and $500,000 in city tax dollars. In addition to this project, the city announced a major pothole repair blitz. Crews will be working full-time to answer all resident requests. And if you need to report a pothole in Northampton, there are a few ways to go about it. You can call the DPW, make a request on the city's website, or download the Citizen Tracker Request app to your smartphone. Brittany, back to you.
Jenny, thanks. And the project coincides with the opening of an area paving plants, which will give the city access to necessary quantities of asphalt. The DPW expects to apply 48 tons of blacktop per day over the next few weeks. This construction project will affect 62 different streets across the city and will begin on Bridge Road on Monday. A teenager is under arrest for a string of break-ins Thursday night in Greenfield. 19-year-old Benjamin Stenz of Bernardston was caught early on Friday with stolen property in his pickup truck. Police were first tipped off of the break-ins after receiving a call of 2 homes being broken into, one right after another. A vehicle that matched the description of Sten's truck was said to be leaving the scene.
The initial report was from a resident who said she heard somebody opening her bulkhead. And this was at 2 in the morning. So she called, she hid in her kitchen.
Sten's was gaining access to the homes through the bulkhead doors. Greenfield residents say break-ins have becoming more and more common in the area. A man is shot in Holyoke Friday afternoon, and police are having trouble getting neighbors to cooperate. Officers were called for shots fired near Oak and Essex Streets around 1. Police say a 27-year-old man was shot several times. His injuries are non-life-threatening but serious. Police say that the shooting happened in an area that's well known for gang activity and drug sales. No arrests have been made, and anyone with information should call the Holyoke police. A Springfield man is arrested and charged with the murder of 18-year-old Kenneth Lopez. 22-year-old Lee Manuel Rios was arrested at his Nursery Street apartment on Thursday night. Police say he shot and killed Lopez on Dwight Street last week. When detectives searched Rios' home, they say they found 2 handguns, one in a child's room. Police say they also seized cocaine, marijuana, packaging material, and drug paraphernalia. In addition to the murder, Rios is also charged with armed robbery and various drug-related offenses. 3 other people were arrested at that Nursery Street location. They've been charged with possession of cocaine and marijuana with the intent to distribute and possession of ammunition. 2 of those arrests were arraigned in court on Friday afternoon. They have not been charged in connection to the Lopez murder. And targeting ISIS, more homegrown terrorists in the headlines this morning, beginning in Philadelphia. A woman has been charged with attempting to join ISIS. She was arrested at her home on Friday. Now, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Keona Thomas was planning to travel overseas to join the terror organization.